Sniper shot, and dude catches the body so there's less noise in the water. I love that he fell backwards and not any other direction. Could have went forward, could have went left, could have went right, but he fell exactly where they were planning. That's as real as it gets.
This video is brought to you by Ice Warrior Tactical, Carcajou Tactical, and Grey Fox Strategic. For 10% off your next purchase with Grey Fox Strategic or Carcajou Tactical, use code DA10.
That's badass.
This is Blackbeard. I have positive control of the Raven.
So whoever gets hired to help formulate these things, one thing that's probably worthwhile mentioning is they can't give everything away, and respecting that it's Hollywood, is for entertainment, but they also need to be cautious of what kind of tradecraft and actual procedures would be open to all these viewers. So I respect that in some cases, yeah, it's a little bit far-fetched, borderline unrealistic, but at the same time, they got to protect their craft. So with that said, let's watch. Amazing. Sniper shot, and dude catches the body so there's less noise in the water. I love that he fell backwards and not any other direction. Could have went forward, could have went left, could have went right, but he fell exactly where they were planning. That's as real as it gets. One thing that's a little bit falsified with the use of suppressors, they're not silencers like the movies lead you to believe. There's still noise that comes out of the barrel. Yes, much quieter for sure, but what gets portrayed in Hollywood is like no sound, and all you really hear is the action moving. It's louder than you think, but it does suppress the noise quite a bit. One thing I like about that entry is, number one, had the gun well mounted in his shoulder, ready to either get in a scrap or to shoot. Didn't see any requirement for him to break the gun down and run the buttstock over the shoulder, like you see a lot of guys do. There's a time and a place for it, not every time. So, good entry. So that's a good response where the reality that could happen. Somebody on the inside, only thing separating somebody on the inside of a room and maybe the outside of the hallway or an adjacent room would be some gyp rock and some cheap wood and paneling. And this bad guy just starts to open up with a pretty heavy calibered semi-automatic. Rather than backing out and maybe locking it down and relying on snipers, they decide to push forward. I agree with that. As risky as it is, you're kind of in that no man's land where you back up. This guy, depending on how much ammunition he has, he reloads and continue to do a lot of damage or move forward. Yes, it's a movie, but realistically, I think that's a wise option, which takes courage and takes a set of cojones, but move forward, eliminate the threat.
11 o'clock, driver's side truck.
Nice.
All clear. Target secure.
Nice. So my favorite gets into a bit of a physical altercation. Long gun is no longer a viable option just because of the close proximity. Actually got pinned between the attacker and the operator. Transitioned to pistol and took his bean off. Awesome.
I'm going to get Mikey.
So for those folks out there that choose not to use a secondary when they're on a direct action operation, their thought of, I'll rely on my primary, it's extra weight. Sure, that's a great example of a secondary coming to fruition.